Good morning, Ma'am Beverly Love. Good morning, classmate. First, I would like to explain my reason why I recorded my report because I'm taking care and being a watcher of my grandmother in Butuando because she diagnosed with a tumor in her abdomen and also a myoma. With her condition now, she need to have an immediately operation. Hope you understand and consider my excuses from love. Now, I will start my report today. Our topic with Ms. Saday is all about the MLA and APE system of documentation. So, I start my topic all about the MLA or Modern Language Association. When we say a Modern Language Association or MLA, a format is a style of creating sources you use to write a paper. This style is typically used for research papers, for English composition, and other communication classes. So use an MLA citation guide to learn how cite source in this example of format of MLA: books, editor, computer, translation, organization, association or corporation, magazines, interviews, newspaper, and the last one is slides and films. The MLA book citation always includes the author's title, publisher and publication year, and work site entry. If relevant, also include the name of any editors or translator, the edition, and the volume. University press should be abbreviated like this: UP in a work site entry. Book MLA format example: work site entry, author last name, first name, title of book, edition, publisher, year of publication. For example, Smith, Thomas, period, the citation manual for students, a quick guide, period, second ed or edition, Willie, time of publisher, publication, 2020. An example of text citation, parenthetical Smith, close open parenthesis, page 13, narrative Smith, close and open parenthesis, page 13. That's the example of in-text citation. Author's last name, page, close and open parenthesis, narrative, author's last name, page, open, close parenthesis. And second, editors. If an entire edited book with author's chapter is cited, the editor is listed as the authors with the abbreviation like this, ed, after his name, or ed editor. If there are more than one editor, multi-format the same way as authors. And there is the list. First are editor with the last name first, followed by a comma and editor. Editor MLA format example: Smith, John D, editor. When we go into it, we apply two editors separated by a comma after the first author and the word and are followed with a comma and editors. Example: Smith, John D, and Rosemary L. Jones, editors. That the example of editors with two editors. Number 3, compiler. The following general format and examples refer to an anthology or completion that has been put together by an editor. If a compiler was responsible for the work instead of an editor, use comp without the quotation marks instead of ed. General format: parenthetical citation, close and open parenthesis, editor surname, page number. Like this: editor surname, first name, editor book title, subtitle, place of publication, publisher year, year, medium. Example of format of parenthetical citation: Harley 227-29, close open parenthesis. And work site: Harley Jennifer A, dash aid readings on, then the title, readings on Flannery O. Connor, San Diego. General format, parenthetical quotation, editor surname, page number 2, editors. If an entire edited book with author's chapter is cited, the editor is listed as the authors with the abbreviation ed after his name, or ed editor. If there are more than one editor, multiple editors are formatted the same way as authors. 1. Smith, John D, editor. That's the example. List first our editor with the last name first, followed by a comma and editor. Editor are separated by a comma after the first author and the word and are followed with a comma and editors. Like for example, Smith, John D, and we unused and for the second editor. Rosemary L. Jones, editors. Flyer. The following general format and examples refer to an anthology or competition that has been put together by an editor. If a compiler was responsible for the work instead of an editor, use comp without the quotation marks instead of ed or editor. For example, general format, parenthetical citation, close and open parenthesis, editor surname, page number. This is the example, like parenthetical citation, editor surname Harley, page of the example, work site Harley Jennifer E. Aid. The title, readings on Flannery O. Connor San Diego. Number 4, translator. The basic format according to MLA edition for a translated book is author, last name, first name, title of book, translated by first name, last name, publisher, year. Example, Hamasper, Perta, period, The Sinner, period, translated by John Brown John, period, Bitter, Lemon, Priest, 2007, period. And number 5, organization. When the author is an corporation or organization, either the name of corporate author in the signal, phrase or include a shortened version in the parenthetical citation. If the organization name is long, reference the name in the text. Example, in text citation, one author. You may cite a single author's name in the text. Example, Britton and Bonnish, supporters of capital punishment, thus, open close parenthesis 47-53. Or you can use a parenthetical reference with the author's name and page number. Example, supporters of capital punishment specialize in the of truth, close and open parenthesis, Britton 47-53, period. That's the example of format of MLA of organization. Number 6, call from a library database two authors. Author's last name, first name, and second author first name, last name, title of the article, subtitle of any, title of the magazine, vol or volume number, number issue, number, date of publication, pp, page numbers, name of database. Example of work, site list, example of the author, Jefferson, Dave G, and Tima, Enfield, period, quotation, the title of the article, the divorce generation grows up, Newsweek, volume 151, number 16, 21, April, period, 2008, page 46, mass, all track. Text citation list, example, close and open parenthesis, first author's last name, and second author last name, page number. Like this, Jefferson Renfield 46, close and open parenthesis. 7. Interviews in person. Last name of a person who was interviewed, first name, interview by interviewer, first name, last name, day, month, year of interview. Work site list, example, years, Elizabeth period, interviewer, period, by Bob Jones, comma, at 12 March, 2016. In text citation example, we must be put close open parenthesis, last name of the person who was interviewed, close and open parenthesis. He is a person who was interviewed. You can interviews through telephone. Last name of person who was interviewed, first name, interview, month, year of interviewer, by interviewer, first name, last name, telephone interview. Work site list example. Vol, William, period, interview, period, by Yoon Jae Lee, 30 of January 2016, telephone interview, through telephone interview. In text citation example, close and open parenthesis, last name of the person who was interviewed. So, example, close and open parenthesis, ball. And number 8, newspapers. Print article in a newspaper. Work site list. We must be put author last name, first name, last name of any other contribution, open quotation mark, title of the article, title of the newspaper, comma, version, if applicable, number, comma, publication, date, location, and source. Example, Ersu, Kari, period, and Alexander Martin, period, quotation mark, it's organic, comma, does that mean it's safe, quotation mark, close and open quotation mark. Washington Post, 24 May 2007, comma, page A06. That's the example of how to write the newspaper MLE. Site citation, close and open parenthesis, author short name. And the author is Severson and Martin, close and open parenthesis. And here another example of MLA format, online article from a newspaper. Work site list, author last name, first name, and first name, last, title of the article, title of the newspaper, version. If applicable, number, if applicable, close and open parenthesis, comma, publication date, location, generally page number, if available. Title of the database, online sources, such as a URL. Example, authors Pili, yun, close and open quotation mark, Toronto Public Library opens its 100 stone period, search period, EBSO post.com, I and soon. In text citation, use the symbol of close and open parenthesis, author short name. Number 9, slides and films. Slides. If the slides are available to view online, the format is similar, so that for a website, provide the author and of the presentation, the name of the site in italics, the date it was posted, and the URL. Use as slide number to indicate the location of the relevant information in text citations. Example, author last name, comma, first name, comma, quotation, presentation title, quotation, close and open quotation, comma, website name, comma, day, month, year, comma, URL, period. Like the Vandevau with, comma, wing, comma, quotation, presentation title, few thoughts on board as life balance, comma, quotation, slide share, comma, 24 January, period, 2020, comma. And we must be put a URL, www.slideshare, comma, net slash swim, vandervauhead slash a few slash dash through dash on dash work dash life balance period. In text citation, we must be apply a symbol of close and open parenthesis like this, vandervauhead head, comma, slide 4. Flames. To cite a flames in MLE, include the title, the director, any other relevant contributors, the production of distribution company, and the year of release. If there are multiple versions of a film, you also need to identify the version. Example, Vrasi, period, directed by Terry Gilliam, comma, performances by Jonathan Fries and Catherine Helmond, comma, directors Kat, comma, Embassy, International Pictures, comma, 1985. To cite a movie from Netflix and the similar online streaming services, add the name of the website or apps like this. If you watch the movie on an unofficial website or video sharing platform like YouTube, add the website name, the uploader, the date of the uploader, and the URL. Example of The Living Dead, comma, directed by George A. Romero, comma, directed by George A. Romero, comma, image, 10, comma, 1968 period, YouTube uploaded by American Film Institute, the, comma, 26 August period 2014, comma, www.youtube.com/what and so on. That's the URL. Text citation include the title or a shortened version of it and the time range. Example, Brazil 95, 32, 37, close and open parenthesis. Night 18, 25, 40, dash open parenthesis. Computer or a website. An MLA website citation includes the author's name, the title of the page, in quotation mark, the name of the website in italics, the publication date, and the URL without mark https dot slash slash. If the author is unknown, start with the title of the page instead. If the publication date is unknown, or if the contents is likely to change over time, add an access date of the end instead. Website don't usually have feeds number, so that the index citation is just the author name in the parentheses. If you already name the author in your sentence, you don't need to add a parenthetical citation. Works site entry. Author's last name, first name, title of the work, website, day, month, year of publication, and URL. Slot, Brian, Wells likely inflated by Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The Ocean Cleanup, 10 April 2019, www.theoceancleanup.com updates Wells likely impact by Great Pacific Garbage Patch. That's the example of the format of text citation, parenthetical author's last name, narrative author last name, parenthetical close and open parenthesis, put author last name slot, narrative author last name also slot. Sometimes, or if every time you quote or paraphrase someone else's work, you must tell us who wrote the work, what is it called, and where can we find a copy. We must give us this information in two places. Number one, in the paragraph where you are quoting or paraphrasing, this is called a parenthetical citation because you will put brief information about the work. And one, in the work site page of the end of the paper, this is where you put all of the information we need to find a copy of the works you paper. And that's the end of my report. Hope that you all understand my report of my topic all about MLA, because I know I'm not good enough in reporting, but I do my best to improve myself. And that's all about my report. Thank you, Ma'am Love.